Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. And a news and notes catch up today, starting with Alen Babic, who is looking past the ghost of Lucas Browne, who he's set to face on the 30th of October, saying he'd like another fight before the end of the year, and that fight he'd like it to be Dave Allen. Check this out.
No, I want another fight till the end of the year. You know who I want. It's the fight all fans want. Sergey of Allen's.
Meanwhile, Alen Babic is also saying that this year struck me with tough shoulder injury for which they told me I'm going to be out for 8 months minimum. Also, Corona had a party in my body for 4 weeks. Savage disobeyed both cases, and I had 2 successful fights, both KO-TKO. I want 2 more fights till the end of this year. After all the hardship, I'm going to be 110% ready for my next fight on October 30. Nothing can stop me. This is my life. I live for this. I'm coming for you all, and you can't do anything about it. I just sort of paraphrase that bit. You still don't understand. There is a list of names, targets. This is not a game. #Savage. Well, if the list of names included Lucas Browne, I'm not sure what to tell Alen Babic, but seemingly he has overcome some adversity in 2021, Corona and that shoulder injury, which did keep him out for a while. Deontay Wilder has posted that he's going to be part of that new video game that's seemingly been coming forever. So you can see here, this is part of the actual post from Wilder's social media of him being part of the game. He says, it's been hard to keep this one quiet. The most expansive roster of any boxing game in history just got a whole lot better. Thrilled to announce I've signed up to be part of the new ESBC game alongside greats like Muhammad Ali and Jack Johnson. Shout out to the fans that have waited 10 years for a boxing game. It's finally on its way. Well, I'd also say, this game has been coming forever and a day. Does it feel like they've been talking about this game and people have been signing on to this for about 3 or 4 years now? I guess if the big gaming companies, thought there was any money in boxing games, we would have had a much better one and sooner. Sergey Kuzmin has been announced to face the ghost of Kevin Johnson on the 5th of November. So with Alexander Povetkin retiring, it sort of seems that some of Kuzmin's options to feature on Povetkin's undercards have severely dried up, and his opponents and potential, who he's going to be facing is seemingly a bit limited, because this is not good. Sergey Kuzmin really has been on a bit of a decline in terms of his activity, but also the opponent front for a little while now. So he's taken losses in the past couple of years, including one against Michael Hunter where he was schooled. Martin Bakole also beat Sergey Kuzmin, a year or so ago. But Kevin Johnson, not good. It's not. People will say, well, he did have a win a little while ago that he upset Pablo Hernandez. But since then, it is what it is. Kevin Johnson, over 40. He's probably not going to do too much in there. Sergey Kuzmin might get a few rounds, but at this point, it's not exactly a lot of ambition. His promoters really should be doing a little bit better for him. But moving on, it does appear to be the year of the Southpaw, because Southpaw sparring partners are certainly in high demand right now. Demsey McKean, the Australian world-rated heavyweight, is in Dillian Whyte's camp. But not only that, you also have Thomas Carty, and Carty has been in a number of high-profile camps this year. So too Demsey McKean. He was in Anthony Joshua's sparring camp for Alexander Usyk. So too was Carty. Carty also in Whyte's camp, and Carty is also featured in Filip Hrgovic's most recent camp where he was preparing for Marko Radonic. And Whyte is preparing to face Otto Wallin, and Wallin himself has been getting some work in against Adam Kovnetsky. So Kovnetsky, not too dissimilar to Dillian Whyte in the fact that he's aggressive. I think Dillian Whyte's got a few more wrinkles to his game than Adam Kovnetsky, who likes to come forward, throw a lot of punches and block punches with his face, which ultimately didn't work too well in his last fight against Robert Helenius. Kovnetsky facing Helenius October the 9th, and that Whyte and Wallin clash October the 30th. Frank Sanchez, meanwhile, he will be appearing on that October the 9th Fury-Wilder card, and he's been preparing with Jeremiah Milton. So Milton, a very popular sparring partner these days. Milton also getting some work in with Andy Ruiz Jr. And I was wondering, and I did talk about this a little while ago on Patreon, so we heard all about this injury from Andy Ruiz Jr.'s father, that he needed surgery, but all the sort of photos and other bits and pieces that pop up online, seems to be no sort of strapping or anything for that knee injury. So what was really going on there? It hasn't really sort of been fully explained by Ruiz. I just find it a little bit curious that if he had surgery recently, wouldn't you be protecting that knee? I don't know, that seems to be what I would do. How about you? Joe Goodall, who moved to Las Vegas a while ago, he's an Australian heavyweight, unbeaten prospect, 7-0. He's been getting some work in with the likes of F.A. Ajagba and also Jared Anderson. So Goodall is training with Kevin Barry, and both Ajagba and Anderson have fights coming up on October the 9th. F.A. Ajagba will be facing Frank Sanchez, who we just saw a moment ago. Talking of sparring, so Hughie Fury, who faces Christian Hammer soon, he has been sparring Cash Ali and also Tommy Welsh. Tommy Welsh pictured centre, so Welsh, a young prospect on the way up. And just looking at Christian Hammer, who he's preparing with, I should say, for Hughie Fury. He's been sparring with Igor Shevedutsky, pictured centre, and also Victor Vikhurst, who both these guys are Ukrainian prospects. And just rounding out this video, so Christopher Lovejoy back in the winners column. So the street sweeper slayer has been back down in Mexico plying his trade. He's fought a guy who was 8-32, Luis Rodriguez, and here's just a little bit of the footage from that, dropping him. So he now advances to 20-1. That one loss coming against Mahmoud Shah, where he didn't really do too much and got stopped in the second round, pretty much from the first significant punch that landed in the fight. But subsequent to that, he's called out Andy Ruiz Jr. I guess, you got to credit him, the self-proclaimed GOAT, for wanting to have a big fight, saying, I want to fight Andy Destroyer in Mexico or Los Angeles, preferably Mexico. Then I'll win over his Mexican fans. I guess a guy can dream. What do you make of it all? Drop a comment loud and often. Hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.